before we talk about timelines, let's do a quick history lesson for context. And to do that, we need to go back billions of years ago. We have the first ancestral race, who were ancient godlike entities, basically god aliens. And they created the seed of life, which are beings created to spread life across the galaxy. Now in the show, we see two kinds of seed of life, Adam and Lilith. Adam creates powerful beings that can decide its own physical form called angels, and Lilith creates fixed form creatures like humans. The Far then sent these seeds of life across the galaxy in a transport carrier called eggs or moons. And they also created and assigned sphere of Longinuses to each seed of life. So now let's talk about Earth. 4 billion years ago, Adam landed on our planet. But before Adam could create angels, Lilith decides to come tumbling down and causing the first impact. Now, this destroyed Lilith's sphere of Longinus, which meant that Adam was sealed by its own sphere. Now this is because it is said that if two seeds of life happen to be on one planet at the same time, they would combine and create a being on the same level as the Far. So the god aliens created the spheres of Longinus as a failsafe of sorts. Now, Adam was sealed and Lilith spread its LCL everywhere. And billions of years later, here we are. And that's how life began on planet Earth, folks. All right, that's a lot to take in. But let's skip ahead to the year 2000, when Dr. Katsuragi and the gang decided to travel to the South Pole, where Adam is still in stasis, and they decide to experiment with it for science. Big mistake. It ends up creating the second impact, which ends up creating a giant explosion that nearly ended humanity. Whoops. After the second impact, 15 years later, we now finally get to the original anime series, Neon Genesis Evangelion. There we go. Now, Shinji and the Funky Bunch pilot Avas and fight the angels and try to save humanity, all that. So now, if you have no idea what the hell a third impact is, let me tell you. It is an event that is known to usher the new stage of life, evolution, and existence. What the hell does that mean, you ask? Well, for that, we must talk about CELE, the organization that is backing NERV and is in control of the UN and basically the whole world. These anime Illuminati boys found an ancient text created by the Far called the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is based on an actual real-life artifact found by archaeologists in 1947. But in the anime, Dead Sea Scrolls is a manual and a prophecy that explains what the seed of life are, how to use the Spear of Longinus, and how to initiate second and third impact. Now, for the public, NERV is an organization that's here to prevent the third impact and save humanity from the angels, but CELE, the real masterminds behind NERV, their real plan is to start the third impact and initiate a mind-bendingly confusing event known as the Human Instrumentality Project, which is a forced evolution of all life on Earth. Basically, in layman's terms, everyone's physical form and conscious will dissolve away in the form of LCL, or Orange Fanta as the kids call it, and all beings will become unified and whole. Okay, so back to the original anime. Whole lot of angel fighting happens. At the climax, CELE says f it and sends troops to kill everyone in NERV and just take the Avas. Whole lot of mass-produced Ava fighting happens. Shinji then says f it, and then the third impact happens, which leads to the Human Instrumentality Project. Shinji says f it again, and then we get the final scene in episode 26 and the end of Evangelion. Great times, great classic hits.